Coming up on The Big Room. So the whole movie, I'm like, they're not confirming it. He's not the son, whatever. And then as soon as I'm like, oh, he is the son, it was like, nope, there's a rebellion and it's a daughter. And I was like, you just convinced me otherwise.
What?
And now it's not true.
So I wanted the movie to be dumber so I could feel smart, and she was too smart for the movie. We're just
We find the middle ground.
Welcome back to the big room, where we cannot stop watching movies about that old Dennis Villanova makes. 2 weeks in a row, Dune Part 2, and now Blade Runner 2049.
Running blades.
How old will we be in 2049?
What's too much math?
50.
How many years from now?
4?
Yeah, that actually did good job.
54. I'll be 54 in 2049.
That's not
Which
that
means
old.
I'll be
70.
56.
And Carl will
57?
be 75.
Ew, yeah.
Glad we figured that out.
Carl's so old.
Stop it. We'll have those like
Leave me be.
flying car things by then, because that'd be pretty cool.
I don't want to
Flying cars
fly
are cool.
in anything.
I wanted one of those cars because it could be a car or it could be a plane, and I was like, that sounds nice.
I hope we have.
But it can't be
I
a
like-
boat.
No.
Not for very long.
Not for very long.
Well, maybe only because the hatch was open. Maybe if
Oh,
the
right,
hatch
right,
was
right.
closed, it could be
Yeah,
a
it wasn't
boat.
watertight.
Yeah.
So
What I really want to know is, when is Joy going to hit the market?
Wow.
oh, you're gonna get one.
Wow.
She was pretty cute.
I hope by
Siri.
2049 we have like a functional rail system in this country, but
Just minor things
Not
like
gonna happen.
that.
this is obviously a sequel. A sequel to a movie that didn't need one. But here we are.
Yeah, do we know
Yeah.
the backstory of why they did 2049?
I know that
Because there was a book, probably.
they're both based on books.
Oh,
I know Ridley Scott was initially penned to direct this, but executive produced instead, and they had to find another director. That's all I know. That ends what I know about this movie. I don't know anything. I didn't look anything
Well,
up.
old Denny does a great job. So
He does do a good job. This movie is like all of his films, all 3 of the ones that I've seen, 2 of them being Dune. Very visually pretty. Pretty movie.
Yeah.
Very pretty, which I thought the first Blade Runner was also friggin' gorgeous. So continues that theme. Kind of flipped the script on the old head for this one. They're hunting down the old, what would have been considered Blade Runners. Now the new Blade Runners, the new models are hunting down the old ones. It's very Terminator 2. Nick hasn't seen Terminator.
It's true.
Wow. I feel like seeing Terminator 1 and 2, you would be like, I'm going to start getting jacked. And
That's the motivation
Yeah,
you need?
yeah.
All right. I'm watching it
Just
tonight.
watch Terminator.
because looking at Arnold, especially from 1 to 2, what they do to his character, and I won't give you any info because you're somehow blind to 1 and 2.
I know nothing.
Insane.
I feel like that's not as much out in pop culture as a reference
I know.
as
It
other
does feel
things.
I'll
more
be
cult
back.
classic-y.
That's all I know.
Yeah, that's what you know. You don't know the like.
Give me your shoes, your clothes, and your motorcycle. It's a good movie.
It's fine. I can't get over
It's
the
fine.
the
T2
effects.
is one of the rare better
It's pretty
sequels,
rough.
actually.
The
Terminator.
effects, like I just visualize the opening sequence. There's like a robot, and it's the effects are so bad. I was
Hey,
like,
we did our best.
they did their best, but I can't.
I don't
get
know,
past
man.
It.
I won't say anything bad about the Terminator movies. At least the
like
first
the
2.
effects were better in Star Wars than they were.
Yeah,
in
they were
Terminator.
practical versus digital.
Ah.
Yeah, we went too early into digital effects.
Oh. Anyways, Blade Runner though.
Blade Runner though, not Terminator. I would rather have watched Terminator.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, man.
Terminator's great.
Add him to the
Yeah, but
list.
this movie.
I liked this movie, but like, are you having more fun watching Blade Runner 2049 or Terminator 2?
It's different kinds of
100%.
fun.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
They're very different.
Is any part of Blade Runner 2049 fun? Like no part of
Well,
Dune
I have an
was
answer.
fun.
Okay, but
Yeah.
no part of
Yeah.
Blade Runner
Not traditional
original
fun.
was fun.
No, because they're not fun movies.
Yeah.
Terminator is
So you
fun.
can't really compare them.
Yes, this movie is like
Boring?
It's like a dirty
come on.
martini with an olive and the Terminator movies is like Baja Blast. Like they're both great.
That is a great. I mean, I've never seen Terminator,
Long
but that's
Island iced tea.
Yeah,
a great analogy
Yeah.
for this
it's
movie.
Hooterade.
It's Hooterade.
Hooterade.
What like classic like Blade Runner 2049 is cinema, and Terminator is a hilarious movie. That's very good. Terminator,
They're almost it could be like the paper plane, a take on The Last Word.
right? But also
like, yeah.
wait, what? I yes anded that.
I'm saying the
and
new
that
Blade
was-
Runner.
I'm
the new
control
Blade Runner
Zing
is
my
like the
yes
paper
and.
plane, and the original Blade Runner is like The Last Word.
Okay.
The one is like a recreation
I thought
of
we
the
were
other one,
still
using
doing
kind of the
Terminator
same things, but each one's got its own kind of distinct feel. Yeah.
All right, this is the worst podcast in the world. So you and
Me?
you didn't
Us.
like. Okay, I will say the names because nobody watches this. They'll listen. Danielle and Nick hated the Blade Runner. the
I
first
did
one.
hate the first.
You
Blade
gave it a
Runner.
miss.
Yeah, full
I
miss.
gave it mid.
And Carl and I liked it because
did hit.
we are men of culture.
Okay.
Yeah, who knew who Charles de Gaulle was? Me. I'm cultured.
You did know more answers to tonight's episode of Jeopardy than I did.
So
That much is certain.
You guys are so old. Watching Jeopardy.
We
It's
watch
so
Jeopardy
good.
every night and then Family Feud.
I love Jeopardy.
Jeopardy's
Family Feud's
great.
great, but
And we
Who's
can't watch
hosting
Wheel
now?
of Fortune because the dog barks.
Ken.
Oh.
Jeopardy Ken is hosting Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
Ken Jennings. He was one of the
Oh,
most
okay.
winningest guys, like in
Like the
Jeopardy
first
history.
one. Anyways.
Remember when that producer of Jeopardy, they like had all the celebrities on right after Alex Trebek died to kind of like try people out, and everybody's favorite was LeVar Burton. Everybody wanted LeVar Burton to host Jeopardy.
I don't-
And then this executive guy was like, "You know who the best choice for Jeopardy is? Me." And he hired himself. And there was so much backlash.
job.
He not only lost the hosting job, he lost his whole ass job. It
Good.
just went,
Jeez.
get out. Nobody liked that. I don't know how to start talking about
Anyways,
this movie.
you are gonna ask
Oh,
me and
you
Nick.
too. You didn't like it. Carl and I liked it.
Yeah. I liked this one better.
I will agree with that. I like this one a lot better.
Unless I just interrupted your thought. Sorry.
I don't know which one I like better. I think I like them both.
This one grabbed me more. The like mystery of like figuring out what, who was the child and what's the story, and like that kind of gripped me more
Yes.
than I don't even remember what happened. in
There's
Blade
things
Runner.
this movie does right that the other one doesn't do as well, I think. The pacing feels better in this movie. The music, which everyone kind of harped on not being
I really
great
hate
in the last
80s
one.
synth music.
I think the music is way better in this one. I like the music in the last one too, but I feel like the music is just, it settles a lot better in the environment.
I vastly preferred the setting and sets in the first film. Way, way more.
Really?
More.
Give me more street level, more neon, more of the little urchins of the city. Unless this was more of
like downtown LA.
right. This one's well, I've never been to LA. This one's
Well, no, like in the movie.
oh yeah. Like it's more like I say this all the time. Coruscant Underworldy episode 2. Go back to your drinks. Kind of that's the setting I like. This one's very much more corporate.
Slash like desert.
Yeah, / desert and just we're on Arrakis, but it's Las Vegas apparently, and there's millions of bottles of whiskey, which is pretty cool.
And lots of statues of naked women.
Yeah, of course. That made more sense
Really
once they said
big
we were in
ones.
Vegas. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
All
just
right.
big ladies, not like just tall, gargantuan,
Statues.
huge ladies. Wow, canceled. I think that this movie, Carl, what I want to know your thoughts on this, but I'll give mine first.
Okay.
I feel like 2049 is more of a straight movie than Blade Runner was. In that 2049, like what she said, the plot is more of a plot. It's like a guy is looking. Both movies are a guy looks for a guy, but in this movie, it was a guy looks for a guy and on the way discovers like, oh, I might be his son, and it's a misread. He's actually got a daughter, and I'm gonna die in the snow. And there's like, it's just his adventures of he's a Blade Runner cop, same kind of deal, turns on the agency, whatever. We've been there, but the first movie has that really, really great touch of moral ambiguity. and it's more commentary on the human condition. And this one's a Ryan Gosling movie. It's just more of a movie and less of like. I actually think I prefer the first movie because it didn't spell it all out for you. And actually, that's a knock to this movie existing, that it removes the ambiguity from the first film. It answers the Deckard question right away. And that was the whole point in the film.
No.
What do you mean? The whole point.
They still
kind
of leave it open.
They do absolutely not leave it open.
When he has that meeting with Wallace, he was kind of like, if you were designed, they don't really give you another
I thought
full
it was still
answer.
very open.
There's no shot. The total point of this is the reason they're looking for all these people is 2 replicants reproduced.
No, a replicant got pregnant.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know if it takes anything away from the story if a human got one pregnant, because it's still.
I took it as 2 replicants reproduced, and that's why it was weird.
I
think
thought
you
about
get to
it,
the same
but
place.
I don't know either way. Well,
I watched a few reviews, and a lot of people the consensus was that they didn't quite answer it still.
Or that it.
But they all pointed
still
to that
doesn't
conversation he had with
matter.
Wallace.
I just don't
though.
think I
Yeah.
wanted the sticker on the window picked at anymore in this
Yeah.
movie. Like I liked where it left in the first one.
Yeah,
But
they
that's the
scratched it
danger
just
when
enough
you-
for me.
So that's the danger when you sequelize anything, especially after 40 years.
Yeah, yeah, crazy.
So interesting. My impression was that they totally went Deckard's a replicant and he somehow reproduced with another replicant, and that's why it's weird.
it makes
so let
more
me-
sense if he's a human, because I mean, I have a lot of questions about the
I think it
replicants in
makes-
this movie. Like, why do they
I
have
think
to
it makes
eat?
an equally
How do
amount
they
of no
age?
sense.
Like, replicants age?
Yeah.
Well, they're just regular biological beings, right?
Aren't they
they're
biomachines?
almost identical humans.
Yeah, they're like
they're not.
engineered. I guess like 3D printed, like Westworld or something, but they're
So
like
they-
people.
Function like humans, they just don't have
Well, yeah.
And that's kinda like-
emotions.
Isn't that like
Yeah.
I mean, they
that's
bleed
the
and have
overarching
organs.
theme?
That's true.
You slash their throats, they die.
That's
Like,
true.
if they're this close to being human and they can now reproduce, like, how are they different from humans?
Well, that's the whole point of the first movie.
Yeah. Well, I think that still applies here too.
I don't know why, for me, when you give it a more plotty plot, why that
It loses it.
loses a little bit of luster. Maybe I'm just trying to be too, like,
You just want
big.
to watch Ryan Gosling.
I'm too big brain, I think. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
give me less
what
info.
you're saying, though.
Give me less info so I can read in more. Maybe
Boy-
maybe I'm just an asshole.
Boy, did I read it. Here's where I was the first half.
Yeah.
First,
Your movie's too complete for me.
A little on the page.
I don't
you
like
learn-
it when plots have a resolution.
it when a film makes sense. What am I doing? What a blowhard. Go ahead.
the first half of this movie, I thought I had it figured out. I thought Ryan Gosling, K was his character's name, or Joe.
Joe.
I thought he was the son of Deckard,
Deckard, yeah.
and
That's what everybody-
Rachel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Rachel.
what we were all supposed to think.
Well, I thought
You thought that
here's where I
until
thought the story
end
was
of
going.
the movie?
No. I thought that until he realized he wasn't.
Right.
Like,
So did I.
I did not catch on.
Yeah.
But no, I thought the whole movie was going to be.
Isn't that right? Isn't that the way you're supposed to watch it?
I don't know.
I think
was
it
just
is.
making a statement.
No, you watched it right, I think.
Yeah,
I,
I
don't-
think
I
we're
don't know if
supposed to-
you
I
missed anything.
finally did it. I
believe-
watched
yeah.
the movie right.
I mean, keep going because there's plenty of time left in the show. There was a dog.
I
Wait,
thought,
Harrison Ford's in this?
I thought the big thing
a
was going to
remake.
be that he's the son of Deckard and Rachel,
Yeah.
a human and a replicant, and he's like a mix of the two, and that's why he was having all these emotions, trying to figure out if he was human or not. Like,
Because he's half.
I thought that's how they were going to play into it, but he didn't matter. Like, he was just a piece of
Yeah,
the puzzle to
no.
get us to Deckard.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got annoyed because
I think that's the point.
That is the point, and I don't care for that.
All right. Why'd you get annoyed?
the whole movie I was trying to keep an open mind. Like, they keep trying to make us think he's the son, but they're not confirming it. So the whole movie I'm like, they're not confirming it. He's not the son, whatever. And then as soon as I'm like, oh, he is the son. It was like, nope, there's a rebellion and it's a daughter. And I was like, you just convinced me otherwise.
What?
And now it's not true.
So I wanted the movie to be dumber so I could feel smart, and she was too smart for the movie. We're just idiots.
Find the middle ground.
Yeah.
say?
The middle ground is you who actually watched it right.
Feels good to be on this side of the conversation.
So, Carl, you're the only one of us who'd seen it before, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you see it in theaters?
No, I just saw it on like, TV,
2017?
streaming.
2017.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
This movie's
I wish I'd
older
seen
than
it in
our
theaters.
marriage.
Barely, only by a few weeks.
Couple weeks. I was like, man, I wish this was on a big screen. This is one of the
Yeah,
first-
the whole time I was just like, yeah, it reminded me of Dune, just these big scenes and
Yeah.
the music. I was like, this would be so great to be in a theater for, but here we are.
What
I
can
put it
you
up to 50.
do?
It was
Maybe
the-
this podcast is how I'll justify the Apple Vision Pro.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Stop
I
talking.
watch it on
Always
the
comes
big
back
screen.
here.
But
With
it's
just
just on your
stretched
face.
pixels.
Yeah, I love
bummed
the idea
out.
of like seeing it
Yeah,
on the
but
big
it's
screen. It's
big
just putting
in your
something on your
face.
face.
That sounds terrible. I just think about your eyes.
Just hold your
crying.
phone like here.
Yeah.
It's the
feels
same
huge.
thing. Yeah.
You're
Same thing.
Just get closer to the TV.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
Just do what you did at the end of 2001 in Space Odyssey when it was green and then blue and then orange and then
Oh,
yellow.
what a
and
movie.
stand up and be like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Greatest movie ever made. What's happening?
Oh, it's got the colors. What do they mean?
He's old.
totally
Space
isn't
baby.
the Grand
He's a baby
Canyon.
again.
Speaking of me being smart, as soon as he picked up the hair, I was like, it was Rachel. And Kevin was like, nah. He was kind of like, "Ah," and I was like, it was Rachel.
Wait.
And then I was right.
What?
Remember
The
when
body
they
in the box.
find
Next
the
on the box
bones
under the tree.
and there's like a piece of hair? I was like,
yeah.
Rachel.
Well, I saw the box and I was like, grave, but weird. But yeah, Rachel. Here's what I don't understand. Maybe someone can help me. Dave Bautista's character, what was his name?
Eh,
Like
something with an S.
straggler,
Strax.
Vagler, Sagler, something like
Sapper.
He's just
It was
Drax
Sapper.
in every movie.
Sapper.
Sapper sounds right.
What was the point of him?
Um,
Besides,
mean?
like, was he just guarding Rachel's bones? What was the point? Why was he important at all?
I
Except
think-
for as a MacGuffin to get Kay to that house.
I mean,
Maybe
yes.
it's that simple.
I mean, yeah,
It's probably just
he
that
was
simple.
the farmer.
But it's like,
who-
There's like,
there's so many other pictures and people tied to that property. He just kind of felt weird.
I feel like
Unless he's
there's a
just
part
a guy.
of this plot that like is saying something about how they like farm and I don't know.
I'm not reading this book.
I feel like he's a part of that.
I
and,
don't
like
care
how he
now.
has to harvest the worms or whatever.
On a scale, okay.
But
Here's
I
a
feel like that was not
I mean, he
important
was
to this
a
movie.
original replicant or whatever.
Yeah,
so
he was one
had
of the
to
old
be
ones.
taken out.
Here's a
but-
question.
He had to give that line about "You haven't seen a miracle." That was his purpose.
Maybe. Well, yeah. So were they on his farm? Did they
There's-
stumble into his farm? Maybe. Rachel and Deckard.
Rachel.
Oh,
Because the miracle being, what's her face getting born?
right.
Childbirth. Nah.
Here's a question for the
Childbirth
cast
is a
that I just
miracle.
thought of right now.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you identify or enjoy this universe? The Blade Runner kind of saga universe, like,
It's
Like
not
identify
my,
with, like
it's
it
not my
resonates, or you
favorite.
just
or
mean-
like just have fun with, like, what do you like it? How much do you like it? Like,
I
like
had a similar
Dune,
thought.
10, Star Wars, 10, Lord of the Rings, 10. You know what I mean?
I was-
like Terminator, 7. Like, great. This 4.
I was
don't really
watching
care.
some stuff about this movie today, and the whole time I was just going, I don't really care for the idea of replicants.
I just
Yeah.
don't.
Like,
I
it
can't
just-
be bothered. You know what?
It's not intriguing to me.
You know what's this
Which
is
is why the first Blade Runner was in my bottom 5 last year.
Same.
that is still a
You're
terrible
crazy.
take. But like as far as
In it,
cyberpunk,
baby.
Got you.
yeah. Here's your compass.
Hey.
Here's your partner.
Hey.
I'm crushing it this episode.
Yeah.
I understood the movie.
It only took 57 episodes.
We made it.
Over
I had a
100 hours of
thought.
movies.
Oh
Here you go.
no, it's gone.
No, this is like a
Enjoying the
two.
universe.
You were talking about the world building.
Yeah, I don't,
yeah,
just don't, I don't
cyberpunk.
care. Like as far as cyberpunk movies go, I've seen 4 now. I think Blade Runner, Blade Runner 2049, Demolition Man, and Total Recall. I would put both Blade Runners under Demolition Man and Total Recall, and that is an insane take. But
I don't know anything about
Demolition
those, but-
Man's great because like It's a universe where the most high-end restaurant in the world is Taco Bell.
That's a sad
I love
world.
that.
It's amazing.
No.
That is an amazing
Got a
movie.
friend that thinks
I want to
that.
watch
That's
that.
the best we got is Taco Bell. I don't want to
it's-
live there.
It's like a campy take on.
This is Carissa Vale's.
It's like a yeah. It's like a campy take on Cyberpunk though. It stars Stallone. Like it's great, and he's just like, "What are the seashells for?" It's a good movie. I don't know. The Blade Runner as a universe or whatever does not. It didn't grab me with its little hooks like Dune did, or like
Yeah.
I kind of keep comparing it to Dune, not because we just watched Dune.
I feel like a
Although
lot of that
kind
is
of.
you reading the source material.
That's
So you're more
true.
invested.
Well, like we've had lots of conversations in our Discord that everybody should join about Dune, and why my brain is
Words?
my mouth is going faster than my brain. Of everybody that I've talked to about Dune Part 2, I like it the least. And I feel like
Takeaway: don't read books.
no, in a cliff note,
I like it.
the
That have
reason why
movies.
is like when I'm reading, the way things happened in my imagination brain were just better than what they were showing. Like down to how the Sieges looked. I was like, oh, this is way different in my brain. And I like the way my brain. Maybe I should have directed Dune. I'm just kidding. No, and I can't get over that hump. But what I don't think Star Wars is a fair comparison. I was going to say because I grew up with it, so that's different. So like as far as new things,
Right.
like I'm discovering Blade Runner in my late 20s. I'm discovering Dune in my late 20s. But yeah, fair point with the book, Carl.
Do you
Maybe it's the source material thing. Like I read the book, but I have I don't feel compelled
I mean,
to read
Blade Runner.
what Blade Runner's based
like
on.
the movies are very like calm. Like there's some points of tension, but like they're not like
They're kinda
action
slow
packed.
burn.
They're
Especially
slow
the second
paced.
one.
But
like,
Dune was very, very slow paced. Like, yes, we had
They're so
Yeah, but the
flashy.
stakes were always high.
we had the
Yeah.
attack on Iraqine in the first one, and then there's that battle at the end of the second one that was a couple sentences in the book and was way too drawn out to give American audiences a spectacle instead of things that they should have drawn out, like the last duel between Fade Routha and Paul Atreides. But hey,
I just think the world building in Dune is more exciting because it's something we don't have. Like Blade Runner world is dystopian LA versus Dune's like a giant worms and big giant crazy
you think
planets.
we
and
we are
Harkonnens.
we are a flying car and a big pink projection ladies
Hologram lady.
away from
Yeah.
Blade Runner. We are not
a big
Anywhere
blackout,
close
take out our information. We're there.
to
Like
Dune.
Carl, what about you as far as like ranking? Like
The universe?
Yeah.
How did
Like Blade Runner?
how does
Well,
Blade Runner
it's-
grab you?
I mean, they're very gripping, but it's also like the presentation. Like the first Blade Runners, like they're both spectacles, you know. So it's like not really the universe as much that I like as the way that it's shown. So I don't know that I'd like want
It's
to live
visually
there.
stunning.
Yeah, but it's all
not-
like both have been have taken that approach to make it visually appealing because it's not a world you want to live in.
How, did you find yourself because you rewatch every movie 19,000 times? Did you rewatch
Yeah.
this to the same degree as you've watched other movies, or were you like, that's
No,
enough?
I've stopped rewatching like once we like at the end of last year, kind of because it was just so much time.
It took you a year to get
Yeah,
fatigued.
and like these movies are 2.5 hours long. I'm like, I'll never be able to watch this 3 times. And it's just like, and why am I doing it? I don't have any. I'm not bringing any new knowledge to it.
I
So,
was
like, but
exhausted after this movie because you went
Well,
out for
yeah.
drinks with your coworkers.
I did do
Danielle
that.
did last night
Yeah.
before we watched it, and then was like gonna make dinner. And I at one point had to go. You realize this movie's 3 minutes shorter than Dune Part 2?
and then I made salad.
And then we just had salad, and it was still our entire night. The
Yeah.
movies are too long.
I
yeah,
was
I had the benefit of
yeah.
watching it when it was like a rainy day, so I got to like kind of just
Ooh.
cozy up and like just
Nice.
watch it, and there was nothing else to do, so it was like a nice like settle in and just see it and like be blown away. So I don't know, I like kind of when there's a movie like that that kind of takes you away and puts you in a new spot like that.
And it's like if it's
But-
raining outside, it's raining in the movie.
Yeah, it felt like very.
that'd
yeah,
be more of a vibe.
Yeah.
That did happen for me.
Was it raining?
It was
last night?
raining last night.
We were. Yeah, it did rain a little bit down here, but when did you wrap up?
Like 12:30.
Yeah, we finished an hour earlier.
Yeah.
And all the big rain came in.
I was in about like 2 hours and 15 minutes in. I was kind of like, all right, we still have a lot of distance to cover.
You actually, with 20 minutes left, said,
think
"I'm done now." You like yelled at the screen, and I was like, "We got 20 minutes left."
Yeah, but I was over it at that point. I was like, hurry up, strangler. We get it.
Ugh.
Strangler already.
Like, how long does it take to strangle someone?
Quite a bit.
Jeez.
So what?
Shooter, it's faster.
He didn't have a gun.
Get one. I don't know. Be better.
You want to make your hand be a gun.
So we all kind of expected him to be the son.
Yeah, I think that was the point of the.
How did
the
you
misdirection.
feel with the reveal of the like scientist or the dream maker being the daughter? Because that felt
That
very
felt
anticlimactic to me.
forced and anticlimactic.
Well, I
too.
don't.
How? Okay.
we don't know this character
You're-
or care about them.
Better question. She saw it coming. How? Because you said
Well,
it's
there-
gonna be the dream maker lady, and I was like, "What? No!" And then it
Well,
totally was.
something was
The
happening.
only other girl.
And then she was pissed off because she's like, they're hiding the lady by making her work for the company that's looking for her, and I'm like, right under their nose.
Like,
It's kind of
nobody thought
genius.
about
Hiding in
it.
plain sight.
Well, no, I don't remember. They did some hint, and then at one point there's like a bunch of flashbacks, and she's in the flashbacks, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
Because she
what?
said this is somebody's memory.
this
or
is
whatever.
somebody's memory, and she was
And that's why she
crying
cried, 'cause it
when
was
she
her.
watched
Yeah,
the
yeah.
memory.
All right, so you
So
just,
she put the memory in him.
Yeah.
So that's what ties him in, is that he has her memories.
Yeah.
There's two
I don't know
things
that
that
she put the memory in him because they're the same age.
no, she did. That's her job.
Wait,
Ooh.
but they're the same age.
Is that a plot hole?
Are all replicant? Well, she was the
Wait,
first replicant to be
replicants
born.
get
But
born.
they were. That's right.
But there was another
Out
one
of a
that they made
bag.
as a decoy who I thought was Kay.
I thought that he
Oh.
was the decoy as well.
Maybe he wasn't.
So
the
I think
decoy.
when
Maybe
they
he
went to look for
was.
him, they would look and find Kay instead, and it'd be like a dead end, and they'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like, they would retire him. But yeah, I thought it was supposed to be they were like basically a Luke and Leia situation.
Yeah, I
So
think that
that's
makes
how
more
he
sense.
has her memories, because he's a
He's a copy.
copy.
Yeah,
But I thought the
but
copy
that would
died.
mean that she gave it to him. That mean that because I
No.
thought what's his name
The
Deckard said that he helped with that.
the files said the original died, but they were all mixed up. Like they scrambled the
okay,
files.
okay.
So everything in the files is a big misdirection. You can take all that information, and the only thing we're really, I think, supposed to glean from it is there's a copy, and then I guess we're supposed to assume that it's K.
Maybe K. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's dead, so it
Well,
doesn't-
that's
Another-
not necessarily true. I read the plot synopsis, and it was very open ended. It was just
Yeah.
like as he lies down in the snow.
But also,
I read something that said he was mortally wounded. So
Well, he was mortally wounded because he does when he lays down, opens his jacket, and he's all.
But he's
the
not a
guy
normal
in the
mortal,
first
so.
movie at the end that like saves Deckard from falling and
Yeah.
has the dove, the same music that played when he died played in the snow scene.
Oh.
So he's dead.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Another giveaway that it wasn't Kay was in the flashback and at the orphanage. All the boys have shaved heads, and in the
Oh.
memory, he has long hair.
Yeah.
Once again, we've watched the same summary videos.
YouTube baby.
nice.
I was like, "There's no way
Man,
he's
that,
picking up on
that
this."
felt like a really obscure fact, though. Dang it.
Here's my question. It's very important, very serious.
What happened to the dog?
Is his jacket green?
What?
They say
I
his jacket's green multiple
Don't
times.
think it's green.
And I'm like, that's like
That's not green.
gunmetal gray.
It's a weird color. It's not. I don't think it's green.
I had a
leans more
jacket in
towards-
high school that would change colors, and
it's-
if you were inside, it would be green. If you were outside, it'd be brown. So maybe this is one of those situations.
My thought was it's
Maybe.
green in the script, it's green on his body, it's not green after they color graded the movie.
Right. It's like
Ooh.
the whole movie is very brown.
It
So
is.
maybe it just.
Especially when we get to Vegas, it did the classic, we're filming in Mexico now. Like,
Yeah.
everybody here is poor.
Welcome to
like
Mad
coloring.
Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, the Mad Max
Yeah.
Dune kind of.
A fun,
It's so yellow.
a fun little attention to detail on his coat. They used fake wool because in this universe, all the animals died from the radiation, so
That's
they
so
would have had to use.
That's why the wood of the horse was so valuable when they
Yeah.
took it to the merchant man.
And why
the-
it's
from
cool
the
that
merchant-
Deckard had a dog.
The merchant man from Captain Phillips.
How do you get the dog?
Same guy.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Okay.
Yeah,
These
how's
horses
this dog
and,
alive?
I don't know. It's on a strict diet of floor whiskey.
Well, Deckard has to be eating something, so there's something. There's some food somewhere.
There's some
Right?
food somewhere.
Who knows? I don't
It's
know.
I really
Vegas.
don't know. Now I'm worried about the dog because in my mind I was like, oh, they'll take care of him. But then they
kidnap Deckard, bone out, and
Yeah.
then Ryan Gosling
he
just
gets
there,
taken too.
So
So now the dog's
just like
I can't.
I'm sure Deckard goes back for the dog.
You're right. Oh, that's true. He gets
Yeah.
out. All right. It's
maybe
fine.
Deckard goes back. That's our headcanon.
That's
Deckard goes back.
that's
for the
what's
dog.
happening.
Yeah.
That's true.
No questions.
He should have picked up the dog first and be like, "Let's go meet my daughter."
Now we'll get
and
my
the dog.
dog. I
would be all
mean-
happy.
I did write down
Priorities.
one of my notes about Kay. I wrote down that he's a sniffer. Because in the house originally he sniffs the pot
Yeah.
that Dave Bautista is making, and then he picks up the flour on the ground and sniffs that too. The guy's just sniffing everything.
So then Cameron, we're watching the movie. Cameron just like,
Yeah, because
And
Kay's a big sniffer.
his name's Joe. Like Joe Biden.
oh,
Oh, I did not
creepy.
make that connection. I was like, Joe Sniffer? I was like,
why Joe?
Joe's like to sniff.
Joe's like the most basic name, but I guess she's just a
Joe Mama.
well,
well, because your average Joe, it's just kind of like
I guess she's a robot.
one.
So.
I like
Yeah, but her
Yeah,
point was
one
you're
name for all men.
different. You're unique.
like Joe.
Joe.
Well, that's where it's supposed to be like, is that her programming? Does she actually believe, or is she just like telling what he wants to hear?
She's got
Like,
good
what's-
music taste. Because
actually happening?
he
Yeah.
gets home the first time and she starts playing Summer Wind by Frank Sinatra, which is a great song. So then I was really distracted just singing Summer Wind during that whole scene. It's a good song.
I thought they did a better job in this one too with like the romantic side. Like the first one, he's
Yeah.
like, "Kiss me,"
Yeah,
and it's like,
the-
okay,
Yeah.
And, like, he could be walking her through, but the way that he does it is still pretty abrasive.
Well, it was the
This
it
one,
was
it's a lot more tender.
It was like the 80s when what we would call rape culture was then called romance.
classic.
It's called courtship.
I
Yeah.
want to leave.
Yeah.
No, kiss me.
Kiss me.
Yeah. I really can't stay, baby. It's cold outside.
I liked Joy.
Can I?
though.
Joy was cool.
Yeah.
I liked
I was
She was very
real upset when
warm and
she
supportive.
got
I
crushed.
She
know.
got her vape
Yeah.
pen stepped on.
Yeah. Her last word was, "I love."
Her joy, you'll
Really, it's 2049, and our best way to store things is still
In a
really
vape
long
cartridge.
USB sticks. Yeah,
Well, that was the projection unit
did.
too, right?
he did
Yeah.
take
Or
the
like-
thing out when he
Yeah.
got her a gift to make
How
it
does that
physical.
technology
I was
work?
like, a jewel.
Apparently, there's another one that was for women called Boy. So there's Joy and Boy.
Joy and boy.
Interesting.
BOI.
And that's
Yeah.
a staple of cyberpunk stuff is kind of the sexual aspect too. It's like, oh, we can augment our bodies to be whatever, and it's very, that's kind of a part of it.
The we don't have to go into it, but the part where she merges with the other chick was really cool.
I thought the effect was cool though.
The effect-
like
yeah,
the
the
way
effect,
they
like-
like
I
layered
kept
them on top.
wondering.
I was like, whoa,
so like
that's
when
cool.
she's like touching him, right? It seems semi obvious that you would film that by having both women do the same thing and then like mess with opacity between the two edits.
Yep.
But Ryan is clearly only had one take because he's not fuzzy. So I just wonder, did they have like one person actually touch him and then the next person like go to his marker and like be close enough because the point was that it didn't match
Yeah.
exactly. I was
There were,
stun locked
there were
by how
parts
they
where
filmed
the
that.
arms would kind of
God,
move and catch up.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
wish I remembered because I read a little bit about it.
About how they make that scene?
There was definitely the two women filmed separately.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ryan was in both of those though.
Because how would they crop him out of? I don't know anything about editing besides shitty TikTok edits. So, but
They
I
could
was
just
just,
have him do the same thing twice and just try to line it up as best they can. And
or
two
do they
different
have
cuts,
him
But he
do it?
can't move.
Or do they have him do it only once and then like move him out of the way and just have them hit her marker and like go where he was maybe close to being?
Yeah.
Or did they have maybe they had a guy in a green suit, so they could just remove him.
Maybe.
Or something like a stand-in. I don't know, but that's what was distracting me in that scene is going, how they film this?
Yeah.
Can I brag on Ryan Gosling?
Yeah,
of course,
I
please.
have not seen many Ryan Gosling films.
No.
I believe I've only seen Barbie.
I have a
and
list
this.
that you should watch after this.
And I want to see La La Land really, really bad. We
And
have
Nice
to watch
Guys.
La La Land this year.
Yeah, The Nice Guys is fantastic.
Nice
good.
guys.
I
was
wanted to
great.
say that Ryan Gosling acted a lot through his eyes in this movie because he's a replicant, so he's not a real person. And I don't think I would have thought this was good acting if I had not seen Barbie first. So it's good that this wasn't my first Ryan Gosling movie, or I would have been like, this dude's
got
eyes are
range, man.
so dead. He sucks. But no, I like after you see him in something else, you're like, oh no, he's using the dead eyes to kind of convey that he's not a person. And I dug that. I was like, he's very robotic just in where he's choosing to look or not to look. While the rest of him is kind of just, he's like a bummed out guy. But the eyes is what made him a replicant to me. And I thought he kind of nailed that. I was having a good time.
Yeah, I know that's how the character is written, to be like
Deadpan almost.
no empathy,
Yeah.
but that bothered me. Like, it made it very hard to sit and watch him just be like, I'm investigating this and I'm walking around talking to these people. Like, it didn't.
Well, you
That's
see
what
him
made
kinda,
that's what made it feel slow to me.
Yeah, you
And
see
that's
like the
how it was
realization
written.
that
He
he
did-
might be important kind of wash over him, and that like kind of struggle he's facing. You kind of see
Well, that's
that
why he gets
chip away at him throughout
disappointed
the
when
movie.
it's not him. Like he clearly has emotional responses.
Yeah,
He has that breakdown in the dreamatorium.
Yeah.
Like,
the crematorium.
So
The first few opening lines he had when he was talking to Dave Bautista's character, I feel like he had a little bit of his like Ryan sass that he always has in all of his characters.
almost
and I was
a
a little,
charm.
yeah, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. He's supposed to be a replicant.
Like
But then
in
it was,
his version of the easy way or hard way.
yeah,
kind of speech.
Yeah, but it kind of then, like you said, the rest of it, I was like, okay, it was just in that one scene. But I was like, this feels too Ryan-y. Like, he's supposed to be a robot man. So,
and
but
I guess
then he
he's
wasn't.
talking to another like replicant, so maybe he can access a little bit more humanity when he's dealing
Yeah.
like kind of peer to peer.
Yeah.
Their
But he
version
has to be
of
more
humanity.
reserved when he's talking to a human. Well, you know what I mean? Like,
And that
he
was
has to be-
before he like found the body and like everything kind of
Yeah.
started. So
Yeah.
maybe
It wasn't really a complaint, just an observation.
I know you notoriously don't like Jared Leto. What did you think of his performance in this? Yeah,
I of course hated it.
because I was worried it was.
I hated
I
it.
thought of all the stuff I've seen him in, this is what I like him in most.
Here's why I hated it. I have
Here.
not seen very many Jared Leto things. I will say I've not seen.
Fight Club, might be your
Morpheus.
favorite,
I didn't like
just
him
'cause
in
he gets
Fight
the
Club.
shit beat out of him.
I haven't seen him do his Morbin time. I haven't seen him as Joker. I just know him from pop culture interviews, going in the
ridiculous
desert, pretending to
Versace
be
accent.
Jesus and coming back and not knowing COVID was a thing.
Oh.
I think that he is an insufferable knob. In this movie, I feel like he stuck out like a sore thumb. I could be projecting my hatred of Jared Leto onto this character, but I could not help but think of all of the actors. Everybody else seemed like they were acting, and it just seemed like Jared Leto was in the movie, being Jared Leto.
Yeah,
Who
I think
else?
that casting is an intentional choice because he's kind of like this failed, like genius. He can't live up to Tyrell, so he's kind of this pretender, kind of overacting and reaching beyond what his actual
I
like reach
can't
is.
stand him in this
So
movie. Every
it
scene
felt
he
like
was
it
in,
meshed perfectly. I was like, okay, he
like,
is this guy.
I
Like,
got
just this
I got the feeling that
egomaniacal.
the director's intent was for him to be scary, and I just found him annoying.
No, as soon as he came on the screen, you see his like profile in the dark right, and Cameron goes, "If that's Jared Leto, I'm gonna kill myself. It's Jared Leto," and like,
It's the worst. And
Who-
they gave
do
him
you
like
have any
cataracts, and I was just furious. He sucks, dude.
any thoughts who you would rather have had? in
Mads
that character?
Mikkelsen.
I don't even know who that is.
Ooh,
Mads,
yeah.
you put Mads Mikkelsen in that role.
The guy
Amazing.
that does Blood Tears and James Bond, and he's the
He's the villain
guy
in
that does
Casino
stuff
Royale.
in
I know who that is, but
He's
I don't
also
remember
one of the
who that is.
protagonists in Rogue One: A
he's
Star
the
Wars Story.
scientist.
Oh, like he's
He's in the Harry Potter
Okay.
with the beasts.
yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
You put Mads
I haven't-
Mikkelsen
Yeah.
in that role, it's a better movie.
It's scary.
Well,
He's scary.
And he
Denis,
seems more like the
hire
original
me for
Tyrell guy
casting.
too.
Hire me for casting.
Jared Leto wasn't their first choice.
Who was their first choice?
Their first choice, unfortunately, died 6 months
Oh,
before they were supposed to start
whoa! Who?
DiCaprio. Just kidding.
He's not dead.
filming. Wallace was originally going to be David Bowie,
What?
I don't like that either.
and they wanted to keep with the rock star theme, so they got Leto.
Stupid. What? Oh, David Bowie.
David
That
Bowie
was
would have been
bad,
bad.
right?
That would be
Those
weird.
both
But it would have been
rock stars.
older David Bowie, which I don't know a lot about.
Where's the replicant, Sarah?
Like when you say Rachel.
I brought you a new Rachel. I make her dance, magic dance, jump, magic jump.
God, the labyrinth was the
Labyrinth's
Labyrinth.
smell.
What a journey. What a journey we went on.
God, let's watch Labyrinth.
Had
again.
enough, have you?
No, I'm not watching that movie ever again.
That little mouse guy or the little dog, whatever it was, is.
Yeah, no, I hate Jared Leto. I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to.
Yeah, I saw he was in this, and I immediately out loud went, "No wonder it was a flop."
This was a flop.
Jared Leto.
It was not. It is being viewed now with more favor. It did not.
Just like the original.
Exactly. It just
Okay.
didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't hit well. I mean, think of everything from the trailer. Huge pink lady. That's really it. All we got from the trailer is Ryan Gosling is in it, and there's a big pink lady.
The
Yeah.
trailer also had Harrison Ford, which I feel like it could have been cooler
Harrison Ford is
to
not
keep
in.
him a secret.
He's not in the first hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like,
Probably would have hit better if he was. A
He's
secret.
definitely a third
Like in
act only.
Spider-Man when the other ones come in.
Oh, you know what's crazy too? A fact that I just pulled out of my ass right now because
Oh, yeah.
I remember looking at the casting. The Marilyn Monroe in the Elvis part.
Yeah.
That was not archival footage. That was a lookalike actress.
Oh.
Yeah. But both
I don't know why that makes me like it less.
both Elvis
But it
and
does.
Frank
Fake
Sinatra
Marilyn.
have bona
This
fide
movie's not
credits.
real.
So that like the little holograms on the jukebox, that was them.
Yeah, and the Sinatra on the bar, that's him too. So they both have bona fide film credits. So hopefully their estate's got some cabbage.
Their estates are fine.
They'll survive.
They'll make it.
Yeah, they have an estate. They're
They'll
going to be
okay.
just.
They'll be okay.
Their
If
estates
they
are fine.
Yeah.
don't get
Are you worried about their estate? Don't worry.
I just love Sinatra.
Yeah.
What else do I have?
I'm
Ryan
Cameron. I
Gosling.
love Frank Sinatra.
Oh, I had to ask Danielle today because I forgot about the one character that is the exception to this. I was like, are there any non-white people in this movie? It is the whitest movie.
Yep.
Coming off of Dune Part 2, this movie was like being flashbanged. But there is
Captain Phillips.
the orphanage guy and
Two.
the Captain Phillips guy with the
Nick,
elephant.
no
So-
Asians.
No Asians. And LA is
Yeah.
so Asian.
All right.
Yeah, they heard your complaints the last.
Okay.
They were like,
episode.
no way.
And we're off the air. Wow.
Go
Why
listen
is
to our
LA
episode
so
on
weird?
Blade Runner to understand our jokes.
God. What did you guys think of CGI Rachel at the end? Because apparently,
I thought she looked pretty good.
I thought she looked very good. As far as Uncanny Valley,
yeah.
on a scale of 1 to 10, CGI Rachel was probably a 3 or 4, whereas CGI like Carrie Fisher in Rogue One is an 11,000, and Peter Cushing was like an 11 out of 10. Like those were scary, creepy, just like gross. Like you knew you were looking at a dead person.
Yeah.
And this one was like, oh, that's pretty good. But also, she didn't talk.
They had that soupy, warm lighting to hide a lot of the.
She had weird lighting.
too.
And she wasn't on screen for a long period.
She had
of time.
no close-ups. She had one close-up, really, and she didn't speak. So a lot of like the Grand Moff Tarkin.
She spoke.
Did she speak?
Yeah, she was like, "Do you still love me?" or whatever.
You're right. But as far
But
as
it was
like
very
The same
minimal.
It's very
cadence she
minimal.
spoke with.
compared to like Rogue One, Grand Moff Tarkin, crazy. Like every time his mouth moved, I was like, ugh, just recast
And
it.
the Carrie Fisher, like, well, we have hope or whatever.
Yeah,
she
that's
says,
just
and
brutal.
doesn't look
Those
Yeah.
that
like
technology.
it's fine.
So apparently-
and,
but
and I almost said that technology wasn't ready yet, but the Mandalorian Luke Skywalker was awful too.
yeah, I didn't watch it. but
Apparently, they spent a year
Yeah, you did.
on.
I didn't. We didn't make it that far to the Mandalorian. Be like,
Yeah.
quit.
No, that was the end of season 2.
Oh wait. I thought you meant. Well, he comes back later.
And I bet it looks just as weird.
Yeah.
They need to have Sebastian
we did
Stan or
forget.
whatever that guy's name is.
Yes.
Like, just be Luke.
Because he's the dumb, he's the
100%.
guy. That's his body.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's his
They-
body.
yeah, they should have
Just
used him.
use his face, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like it. At least the one solace in that example that I have is Mark Hamill's still alive to give the thumbs up. And go use my face and
Yeah.
whatever. But
Use my
I still
face.
am like, ugh, just
The
recast him.
yeah, the director cited Carrie Fisher's CGI as a reason to like. One of the first things they did was start on the CGI for Rachel's character. So they spent a year on it.
Wow.
And he's like, I don't want her to be on screen long. I don't want her to say much. I
Good.
want it to be very shortcuts.
I loved the her eyes are green or whatever the
Yeah,
line
yeah.
was from Harrison Ford. I thought he was pretty good
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
I liked how scarce he was. I I liked it a lot. I was afraid that my fear going into this movie is that it was going to be a Harrison Ford, Ryan Gosling buddy cop movie.
Oh yeah.
And
That
I'm
would be-
so glad that it wasn't, you know, a try this kid, you know, kind of just dumb, ham-fisted crap storm. But no, it was
ham-fisted
Yeah.
craps.
It's definitely more of a cyberpunk noir.
put that on a pair of booty shorts. Ham-fisted crap storm. Going to the big room store in 2027.
Yeah, let's go.
Big room store.
We'll never get that famous.
I had like, because Harrison Ford wasn't in this that long. Like, he was in it a little bit, but I wonder how invested he was in the plot, like in the whole movie. Like, did he care? Does he even know?
I don't
Or did he
think-
just show up and do his lines and that was
like,
it?
I don't think that Harrison Ford has given a shit about a movie
Anything.
since Empire Strikes
Maybe
Back.
ever.
I mean, he
Like,
wanted
if
actually he wanted to be killed off in A New Hope,
Yeah.
and he didn't get his wish until Force Awakens, right? When he died.
Someone
Yeah.
asked him if Han shot first.
not
And
like
he was
that.
like, I don't know and I don't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care. I think my impression is that he actually has more affinity for roles like Deckard and Indiana Jones than for Star Wars, because Star Wars fans are so insufferable, and I am the worst among them. I'm a horrible Star Wars fan, but
Tattooed on your body.
I'm also right.
I'm also right.
That's true. I do have Darth
I
Maul
have
and Padme on my arm now. What
some
up?
hot points.
Oh,
Hot
hot point.
Yes.
Of course, you know we have to do hot points for my boy Ryan.
Make sure
I
you talk
will
over
say
the music.
though, okay, I'm talking loudly.
Ryan Gosling.
No, this is not his hottest role.
No,
So
that-
this role is going to play against his hot points. It is the role, not the man.
What is his hottest role for us?
Ken.
No.
No, it's not Ken.
But he's
I don't
shirtless so
know.
much.
Probably Crazy Stupid Love.
Never heard of it.
He's
Go ahead.
pretty hot. Carl, you've seen
Oh,
that, right?
Sounds
That's a
crazy
good
to
one.
use.
He's
Yeah.
pretty hot in that.
I don't know if that's his hottest movie though, but it's a good movie.
I haven't seen all of his movies, so
You have less than a minute.
okay. Anyways, well, you asked this question, so we started at 5. We got a +1 for just grimy Ryan Gosling. You know, he's fighting. He's tough. He's hot. Then he got another +1. There was like a shootout scene, and he was like being all like stealthy and cool or whatever. I was like, that's pretty hot. So that only puts us at a 7, but it's due to the character in the world.
Did
not
he
the
get
man, as I
points
say.
for being grimy?
Yeah.
Because that has been a negative for previous examples of hot points. You don't like a grimy guy.
This time I
It's
did.
how you carry it.
It's how you
It's
carry
how you
it.
carry your
Like-
Sometimes the
grime.
grime is
It's in the
wearing
way
them.
that you use it.
Like Henry Cavill.
Sometimes the grime is wearing them.
It's true.
Yeah. No hot points for him giving the gift to Joy and being like a doting husband.
No.
Digital.
I couldn't
his
decide how
digital wife.
I couldn't decide how I felt about that. I think I liked it. It was fine.
Digital
Anyways,
wife, digital
going back
life.
to the grime though, like Henry Cavill, way hotter when he's I said it like Christina P. Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
You guys know who I meant.
Cruella Davil.
Listen to YMH Studios.
Princess Leia.
That's our comedian's fault, and now you've ruined my point. Anyways, he looks
No, the
hotter when
grime,
he's
the
grimy
grime.
than when he's clean. Like Superman, Henry, not hot. Witcher Henry, way hotter.
Have you
Oh,
seen?
yeah.
Wait, have you seen the Hemsworth as Geralt?
Yes, it's like Walmart Geralt.
But it's closer than I thought it was gonna be.
It's not the worst.
If you were pretty drunk, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference
That's
visually.
true.
Like, give me five beers, and I'd be like, "It's the same guy."
But
and then
season 3 was already so like, I don't know. I mean, am I gonna watch season
it's
4?
almost like
Yes.
fantasy television doesn't really work that well. Rings of Power, Witcher.
I did watch more Witcher than
New Game of Thrones was
Rings
pretty
of
good though.
Power.
New Game of Thrones, like the
What other
spinoff.
fantasy?
There's another. I just forgot what it's called.
One of the first spin-offs, whatever the first spin-off was
What's
like
the one that just came out?
The dragon.
House of the Dragon.
Something. House of Dragon's good.
I feel like that was the first season, at least,
There's only one
I
season
know
of that
nothing
one.
about that show.
No, maybe
And
it was a
have
different
no
one. Then.
desire
There
to
was
watch
there
it.
was
Well,
one
there's that
something-
remake of that Lord of the Rings, which is not
Rings of
good.
Power. That's awful.
Yeah. I don't think there's been another Game of Thrones yet.
I thought I saw really awful reviews from Game of Thrones thing, but maybe it must
I
have
don't know.
been
Maybe I
something
don't know
else.
what's good.
If
Must have been
only
something.
we could
No,
Google it.
it must have been
There's
something.
also
Else. No, we
that
don't.
theory.
We don't Google on this show. Talk now, Google never.
Yep.
Look it up later.
Corrections Corner, come
And
on.
then corrections corner.
Corrections corner next week.
We
I'll
didn't
let
do
you
it.
know.
We didn't do a corrections corner at the beginning of this because I would have had to monologue about Dune for another 30 minutes because I
We're
did
done with
get
that.
quite a bit wrong because I hadn't read the first 2/3 of the book in 2 or 3 years. So whoops, can't win them all.
Oopsies.
I have a film theory that's in the. It's muddy, but I feel like we
For
could
this
get some
movie?
good bones for it. Yes,
Okay, go ahead.
and that it is. This is
In
what
the same universe as A Bug's Life.
It's a
this
Matrix.
is a Matrix sim. No, I have a dream. I feel like this is what
dream.
Ken. This is what Ken dreams when he's in Barbie Land, a world where he's a man.
Oh,
And he gets to be a dude. He's still a little subservient to women. His boss
Yep.
is a woman.
Yep.
He's nice to Joy. But
Sublime.
he gets to be a dude and be like an actual action star, like an action figure, not a doll. I haven't heard this
I like
said
it.
anywhere. I think there's bones. If we could probably really add to
We
it,
could get-
but we don't
yeah.
have to do that here. Let us know in the comments if I'm an idiot.
We could piece it together.
I'm always trying to find that
kinda
dumb
like it.
connection. So
I,
yeah.
I will say a
He's
negative.
Kay and Ken.
A negative for this
oh.
movie that I had to do with the ending fight scene where he drowns what's her face and stuff.
Love.
This character has some of the thickest plot armor of any character in a movie I've seen recently. Dude is just unkillable just cuz. Like he's got I don't know. The
I
plot
mean, it
armor
eventually kills him.
the plot armor was a bit much for me.
There's
I
like
feel
a
like
whole
yeah.
stab and a.
I feel like
They do have-
he got mortally wounded like 3 times and didn't die until then.
But he's probably 3 times as strong as a person. So
I guess, yeah. I mean, of course.
yeah.
there's-
Oh, that's
they're
true.
not normal people. They're
Dude.
mortally wounded for a person.
I mean, there's excuses for everything. The Force
Yeah.
is just all the things. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Joe had some plot armor in this movie.
Joe.
Also, Joe.
He doesn't look like a.
he was also living for something bigger than himself all of a sudden. So, he like went past. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Poot.
I copied a.
Fart.
This is the most
alone.
poots in an episode.
A lot of poots. All seem to be directed at me.
No, Nick got one.
All right.
That's true. No, I think I read that the name Joe might have been like a.
Oh God.
God.
I'd rather
I forget-
not.
I forget where my-
I would rather not have a reason.
Was it the
No.
prostitution thing?
No, the like giant hologram called him. You look good for a Joe. So I
Oh,
think
yeah.
Joe was
Joe.
just like a pre-programmed
Good for a
thing.
Joe.
Yeah, well, that's what she
It's
said. Something
Joe.
along
You
those
like an
Like a
average
good
Joe.
Joe.
Is it like a Joy
You
and
look like a
Joe
good
kind of
Joe.
deal?
maybe.
Like every Joe deserves
Well,
a Joy.
I've heard that
like
prostitutes would call men Joes.
Oh.
So it's
Joy
kind
naming-
of that, but it's also average Joe, which is just like a general name for a dude.
Joy naming of Joe
it's-
was simply a part of her original program, and it causes him to doubt whether she was ever real.
Well, she wasn't real. He had to
She
be.
wasn't.
He had to be an idiot walking through the city and seeing big pink Joy, and then going home and going, "She loves me."
loves me.
Like that.
She did, though.
That's oh boy, she was programmed to.
Is that real?
But are the replicants all? They're all
The love
programmed.
for I guess
Yeah.
it's real in the same way that I love the Green Bay Packers. There will be no genuine reciprocation of that.
yeah.
Like at the end of the day, you're in love with
She
an
does seem to make
he's in love with an
decisions unique to his, though. I mean, but
Maybe
that's, I
you
mean,
could- Well,
yeah.
how do you draw those lines? That's
I
what the
love
movie's about.
Different
You know? It's like,
players on the Packers than other people do.
Maybe you could sink your body with a football, like she does with the other chick.
I mean, I can cut a hole in a football, certainly.
you won't be able to get in there.
Oh,
Oh, God.
did you just get it?
I just got
All
it.
right.
Oh,
Wait a minute. You won't
I
be
was
able to
like to kill
okay.
it, like
To kill it, yeah.
I get
With
it.
my flesh knife.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, anyway.
Joke stolen from Harmontown. All right, we gotta stop doing this podcast, right? How long has it been? 100 years.
51 plus minutes.
That's enough time. Let's
Hitman or miss?
let's do Hitman or Miss, and then we'll reveal our next film and who will be in Danielle's chair in the next episode. She will not be.
I'm
here.
gonna be gone.
Hitman or Miss for me. Ooh, I'm not ready. Somebody else go.
I am going to stick with my same rating as the first movie. This is a mid.
Ooh. Carl, you go next. I don't
It's
know.
a hit for me.
I
Yeah.
don't know either.
It's an
Like,
obvious hit for me.
I kind of want to give it a hit, but I also don't want to give it a mid plus.
What out of 10? What out of 10? What'd you give?
6.
6. That's mid.
That's mid, yeah.
Because I would say hit for me.
Yeah.
But on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 7, 7.5. Good movie. I would not feel compelled to watch this another time.
Yeah, like I overall enjoyed my viewing
It was a good
experience.
experience. I think that
I did like it more than the first, I think.
Yeah, me too.
I think I like the first more, but a lot of that is me just being neurotic about older things and the beginnings of things. And young Harrison Ford. I think if I had seen this in a movie theater, it would bump it up a full point. I think I would be in 8.5 territory, but I watched it on a 55-inch television, and my TV's so small. Yeah, it's all right. Hit, but it was all right. I don't think it deserves a mid. I think it's a hit for me. So mid, hit. Is that where we're at? So
That's
no
where we're
banger.
at.
We are at a standstill. So
Hey.
business time. Our next movie is going to be The Batman. The Robert. Wow. Yeah, Robert
No,
Pattinson.
Robert, you
I
were
went-
correct.
Yeah.
My brain went to say Robert Downey Jr., which he'd be the worst Batman.
Oh my god.
I would rather
No.
watch
5 foot tall Batman
I would
running around.
rather watch 100 George Clooney Batmans than one RDJ Batman.
That sounds bad.
Yeah, we're gonna watch The Batman.
Yeah, here's the deal. I'm the Batman. Like,
yeah.
it's-
I'm the only one who hasn't seen it, other than you, but you won't be on the show.
Nope.
So for this, we are bringing on Batman expert. I don't think he likes Batman. We're gonna have to talk about it because he's.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know he doesn't like the Nolan Batman films, but him and I are actually kind of together on that because I don't think they're good Batman movies. I think that Dark Knight is a very good Joker movie. I think that Batman sucks because he does zero detective work, and that's the most compelling part of Batman. And from what I understand, I get some detective work in this Batman, so I'm very looking forward to it.
Excited for you to watch this.
It seems pretty dark and gritty, and isn't it a younger interpretation of Batman? So all things that I'm super
earlier in his career.
super into. You may watch it with me.
I
That
may.
is yet to be
Man.
seen
We'll
because
see.
you are going to the Big Apple.
I'm going to the Big Apple.
Oh, baby.
You're gonna go stare at the big squares in the ground and cry,
No.
and go to the cellar.
I'm not going to the cellar actually.
Oh, you should.
I kept checking to see who was on the schedule for Friday because we have show tickets on Thursday. So, and they won't post, like it hasn't been posted yet. And then I found second row seats at a new show, and I care more about musicals than comedy. So I bought the musical
That's
tickets.
on brand.
So I get to sit second row on Broadway in a new musical starring like real people. And
Is this the one that
I'm so
Radcliffe is
excited.
in, or is
No,
that
we have-
also
Hang on,
what you're going
comedians are real people.
No, I mean like like the original cast. Like I see a lot of touring shows,
Yeah.
and like they're fantastic and talented. But like I'm going to go see
It's
a
not
show
the
with
same.
Daniel Radcliffe and Jonathan Groff originating those
that's
roles.
Yeah, she's gonna see
Like,
Daniel Radcliffe on Broadway.
I'm
It's
so
crazy.
That's
freaking
great.
excited.
That's
What's he in?
It's
Harry
a
Potter.
Yeah, Harry Potter.
They brought it to Broadway?
Actually, there is a Harry Potter show on Broadway right now,
I bet that sucks.
but it's a play. No, it's very good. It's a
I
play.
don't know.
It's not a musical.
It's just a dude in all black with a sparkler like running across the screen like to make the magic happen. Like,
Those movies, wow. I don't know about them.
but I'm really excited.
So you are going to be gone. So you're being replaced.
Yes.
By
Someone not as cute as me.
The best person who's ever been on our podcast. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
David Ward from Suplex 6. He's coming back. He's going to reprise his role as a mummy expert, except for now he's going to be Batman expert. He has seen the movie a lot. He also is a comic person and a Batman
I'm
knower.
excited to hear his thoughts.
And I'm excited to have 3 people who have seen the movie before guide me through Batman.
I'm excited to watch it not in 4D, which is what I did.
Oh, that sounds bad.
It's the only time I've seen
A
it.
guy in a
And
Batman costume like comes and kicks your ass in the middle of a fight
Exactly.
scene. Like,
That's what it felt like.
So immersive.
My seat was just constantly moving. It was awful.
yeah. Also,
brain dome.
I bet they're not going to shoehorn Joseph Gordon-Levitt in as Robin in this one. Stupid.
Gordon Levitt's he's cute.
Dumb.
He's cute.
I don't like Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Since when? I didn't
I
know
just
this.
look at his face and I want to hit him.
I like him.
I get that.
He's like a puppy.
Right?
He's like a puppy.
I get that.
No, he's a puppy I want to hit.
Carl, what do you think?
Very punchable.
I don't have a strong feeling.
You know
He's
why?
too soft.
You know
We're
why?
divided.
He was a big like the Tumblr princesses love Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and I don't get along with Tumblrinas. Very diametrically opposed to everything they believe in. Like the show Supernatural can dumb. I know you like
good
it,
show.
but
I
you're
didn't finish it.
wow.
Is-
Looking forward
I love teen drama shows.
to
What can I say?
never watching that.
Don't be ashamed.
All right, so the Batman
Live
with
your
David.
truth.
Goodbye. It
Bye.
was nice knowing you. It's nice
Hopefully
being
I
on
don't
the podcast with
die on a plane.
you. All right, 9/11. 9/11.
I mean, I was more concerned about the Max 9 than 9/11. So
the Max 9/11. All right.
Max 9.
We are going to watch the Batman. She's going to go to the Big Apple. And we're going to cut out the whole podcast. And we'll catch you in the next one.